Welcome back to Seven Rivers Talk with Bob Burrow. I'm Ben Keymichael filling in, and we have our guests Dave Drews and Jerry Every with us today talking about Citizens for Responsible Government. Dave was telling us a little bit about his book, Yes, You Can Stop City Hall. So Dave, can you continue telling us a little bit about the history of the fight against the ambulance service here in La Crosse?
Well, that was a rather extended fight from really we got started about August of last year, and it required us to get a petition to stop City Hall from doing what they were planning to do. And even with that, we had trouble with city officials, primarily the city attorney, Maddie, did not really follow the state law and tried to stop it, but we were able to overcome it anyway. I felt it was important to write the history and let people know some of the things that you forget about if you just are in the city and, well, they stopped City Hall. Okay, how did we do it? And there's a little bit of a how-to in it, but also the history of it as it went through. Well, we went back, and as I wrote this, I went back to the history of clear into what was known as the Black Mariah, an old paddy wagon they used for an ambulance back in the 40s, and then some others more modern until Tri-State was started in the middle 60s. I go into how 911 was started. Pat Zelke, the former mayor, had a big hand in that. That wasn't all well received at first, but eventually, obviously, now people wouldn't be without it. So that all of this would be recorded, I felt it was necessary to write it. And believe me, writing a book, as small as it is, well, it's a fair-sized book, is a big job.
Well, I enjoyed sitting down and reading it last night, Dave. It flows well. It definitely fills in the history, and it tells really the story of a group of citizens who got concerned about something that was happening, stepped up to the plate, and did something about it. Yeah, and great inspiration.
I must give credit to the 76 distributors of the petition. It would have been impossible without them, and we were totally indebted to those 76 distributors of the petitions.
Well, Jerry, can you talk a little bit more for us about how people not necessarily in the La Crosse area can go about following the same kind of a model to stop something going on in their government, in their area?
Sure. One of our activities is to make the public aware kind of what things are going on, and then from time to time we'll focus on certain things such as this. And there's a lot of things going on. The stormwater utility for the city is a big thing. The rubber band criminals that we have in the county, our system of justice sanctions, we feel that that's an item that needs to be looked at. The county-wide assessment proposal that now has faded, but that will be coming up again. TIF districts are another source of concern. People lose focus between elections of really what's going on, and there is a real apathy in the city of La Crosse, and I think or animosity that's created actually by the Tribune staff towards people that are in office, aldermen or supervisors. So people are reluctant to run. They don't want to get involved. And as a result, they don't pay attention. So one of the things we want to do is from time to time focus their attention on some of these things that we think are important.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about how somebody not in La Crosse would step up and be able to figure out what's going on inside their community? Is it just as simple as sitting down and going to the meetings? Listening to what your city board is doing, what your county board is doing?
I think that's real important. If you have access to a computer, a lot of this stuff is available online. If you don't, you just simply need to pay attention. Knowing who your representative is important. Again, the city of La Crosse does a poor job of laying out who's in what particular district, who the representative is, who to call, what the phone numbers are, what the address is to write a letter. Those are things that city and county need to get a lot better at. Otherwise, you're just going to have to go to the meetings.
So, for me as a responsible citizen, if I don't know who my alderman is or my county supervisor is, how can I go about finding that out?
The best way is to call the city clerk. They used to put out a directory. They say they don't have time to do that anymore. I can't agree that that's true. Or you can call the county clerk. They're more than happy to provide you with the information, but there should be no need to call each time. You should have some place where you can go, such as a directory from each of those places, and even the state, so you know who to call, where to write.
Okay, so if there is a bill, something going on inside your local government that concerns you, what are the steps to take to get involved? Do you contact the media? Do you form a citizens group? Do you start a petition? What does somebody do to stop something like the ambulance service in La Crosse?
We have a citizens group here, of course, and they can come and join with us and bring their concern to us, and we're happy to listen to anybody's concerns. We're also online, so they can take a look at what's going on there. The other way is to, as you said, contact the representative and get involved. I think to get the media involved maybe is one of the later steps, but people really need to pay attention to what's going on and try to keep themselves informed, not just the day before the election, but all during the year.
Well, Jerry, don't you think they should find out when certain objects are in subcommittee meetings ahead of time?
Correct.
To try and watch before it becomes an issue before the council itself, that the subcommittees often make determinations based on the information they have that may not be complete.
Yeah. They need to publish. The Tribune would be a great help if they would publish the upcoming agenda items on the council agenda or the county supervisor's agenda, and synopsize those like a for and against on a couple of the major issues, and then also report on how those were handled at the meeting, who voted how, so people know how their representative voted.
Thanks, Jerry. Thank you and Dave for joining us today. We invite our viewers to get more involved in their political process by attending these meetings, finding out what's going on, and standing up to the government if it's doing something irresponsible. We'll be back in a few minutes with Chris Mueller from Cooley Conservatives website. We'll be talking about some of the recent articles that are on that site. Thank you for joining us.